13, you still here? I need a coffee. Good. I'm gonna grab one out of the fridge. Oh, whoever's here, say hey in the comments or in the chat. Let's see who I got. I'm so tired. I should go get that coffee. Sup, Jambalaya? Oh, you like the drive. Oh, I'm so glad to hear about that. I'm glad. I don't know if you're still here, but find anything interesting that you like? in the drive. The network orders. I forgot about those. Yeah. Appreciate you guys sticking around. Oh yeah, the pricing lists. Yep. Let me take a look at those quick. It's nice to actually be able to contribute to this community. I never thought that such a niche interest. Well, actually, started out with ransomware. And then I think from there it evolved into me wanting to learn about malware, and then after that, malware, scams, manipulation, cults, and that kind of stuff. As to why I focused on Scientology so much, I think it was because it was the only real cult thing that I'd watched on television, which was Leah Remini's Scientology and the Aftermath. Then there's that other show too, that like 12 episode season of something on A&E. Hang on. I'll remember the name of it. Cult and Extreme Belief. I remember that right around the time that Leah Remini came out. So these are two bingeable series for me. Yeah, I got hit with ransomware when I was in 10th grade. Because I went on a stupid site that I didn't think that could have had malware on it, and I was a fucking idiot. And it had ransomware. Luckily, it was first gen ransomware, so it would ask for like MoneyGram cards or some shit, or Western Union, or yeah, MoneyGram. Didn't ask for crypto. And I just remember like getting scared because I didn't know what it was. And so I told my mom. She told somebody she was talking to who was a cop, and he's like, "Oh yeah, that's just a scam that's going around." And I was like, "Wait, this is a common thing?" And so, yeah, I just started looking into it, looking into cults and malware and all that stuff. I think, like I was saying, I think Scientology, the reason I glommed onto it was because the show provided a lot of specifics. Because usually when I learn about cults, I learn about the mainstream cult, and then that's it. I learn about your Heaven's Gate, your Jehovah's Witnesses, your Mormons, your Branch Davidians, the FLDS, all those kind of mainstream cults, Jonestown and Shinrikyo. But no one ever gets into. I don't pay attention to really any of them if there's no way for me to get more details. I mean, like I said, I know that there's details everywhere, and I completely forgot where I'm going with this explanation. But I think it was just the fact that there was so much. NXIVM, I'm trying to remember how I heard about NXIVM from Cults and Extreme Beliefs, I think. May have known about it before. I don't know. But no, it was the fact that I didn't have to search for it. It was the fact that it was just a 3-season video series. And like I said, it was able to get into such specifics that I just kind of became invested in wanting to learn about it. Because the show had already taught me so much, and I was like, they tell me this is just scratching the surface, and this is only looking at some of the stuff. I'm like, what's the rest of it? Or when I was seeing excerpts of policy and bulletins, and I wanted full context. But it was the fact that it was all such a niche, becoming so well known. Scientology being kind of pretty small in terms of worldwide religions or businesses, depending on the country you live in. It was the most information available as quickly as possible. And it was a way that I didn't have to search and cross-reference. I'm sure, obviously, cross-referencing is something I do more of now, but this became an official religion and seemed to have more free reign to do insane shit. Yes, they do. Such as fucking arbitration. Oh, the arbitration cases make me want to fucking... fucking hate the church that they keep winning those. But I think someone just... I can't remember. I think it was Valerie Haney. I think it had to do with a certain thing that Biden had passed. And one of the bills or whatever allowed for you to not be arbitrated by a religious organization. I don't remember what it was. Ending mandatory arbitration of sexual assault and harassment claims. That's what it was. The ending forced arbitration of SA and SHA of 2020. SH Act of 2021. Oh yeah, in your last comment, Jambalaya, and the extreme shit that they did was what drew me in. It's like the beliefs do a lot of it, but when you get that extra level of, hey, do you know about this effed up thing that this cult did? It's like when you have a specific like that, and it's not just here's the doctrine, here's the beliefs. Have at it, figure it out for yourself. Um, no, you start with the stuff that's like, okay. So for examples, let me go to. I can give you some that I wrote down in my mega document. So we had Operation Snow White, obviously. I recently learned more about the Miss Bloody Butt incident. Uh, that is the FBI raid in 1977 and on July 8th. The Mission Impossible 3 premiere prank attempt, which was funny as hell. Mission corporate category sort out. And I have something called the A.O. Anzo murder. Didn't I have the... Yes, at the Hollywood Guarantee... No. CC Int and CC Portland. The CC Int self-ending attempt. And the CC Portland shooting. I tried to get in contact with one of them to see if they'd be willing to talk about the incident, but sadly, no. I never paid as much attention to the protests either from then until they started getting more popular now. And after I spoke to Josie, if you guys didn't watch my interview with Josie, she is a trans woman from Colorado. I think. Well, no, she's from the UK. She's living in Colorado. Uh, but no, she used to protest back in 2008, and her current girlfriend also used to help in protests, but on the digital end. So she dealt with like websites and stuff like that, resources and all that stuff for the movement. So that was kind of cool to learn. Um, yeah. Is the music too loud, too soft? Hear any music now? Oh. Jamba, you still here? Take a stretch. Cool. It's like I want to tell about my story. Like I want to give the plot, but the problem is the plot that I would give encompasses so little of what the story is actually about. It's only such a small summary without spoilers, because the spoilers happen like right at the end of that little summary. And it's only a few chapters in that things really start taking a twist. I guess if anybody listened to it, I'd have to put spoilers in it, but I don't know why, but my brain's just like, someone's gonna steal your idea, and then they're gonna get the book out before you, and then you're never gonna have this work that you created that you're proud of. So, I mean, I know no one's gonna fucking steal the idea for themselves and just publish it, but still, it started out, it was gonna be like a really short story, and then it just like slowly evolved over time. It was just like, what if I added in this? What if I did that? What if they did this instead? What if this person showed up? What if this happened at this time, or this happened at a later date? How would that affect the plot of the story? And so I just started getting all these little questions, these little what ifs. And my brain's now like trying to sort it out, and there's always more what ifs. There never stops. And the what ifs are what stopped me from fucking finishing chapter goddamn 2. Oh, fuck. But it has me working on this part. Technically, it would be another part. This could be a chapter in and of itself. Yeah. Sounds like analysis paralysis. I like that. What the hell's that term? I want to see if it's right. Executive dysfunction. Planning and organizing this book. Well, then again, planning and organizing any book from the beginning, especially if it's going to be a longer story, it's going to be more of a bitch. This is just the first time I've ever actually tried. I wrote a lot of short stories, a couple of short stories when I was in elementary school. Then I just stopped writing after that, and I miss it. I missed it. I never finished any of my writing projects, but this is the one that I have been the most invested in of all of them. So I feel like I'm in a, sorry to adjust. I'm in a headspace where I've gotten really invested in these characters and this plot line. There used to be a third character, but then I ended up ditching them because it would have just been overkill. And it caused even more what ifs, so I felt like I had to ditch the character. Now I got these two, and I love it, and it's amazing to me. But I want to show the cover. I want to show like the little AI concept cover. Let's see if I can find it. Did I send it through Discord, or did I send it through? Yeah, no, the thing is still there. It's a cool little like concept art thing, but not. It's very close, I will admit. Um, and it just looks nice to see a picture of a book with my name on the cover. But the way that these two characters interact, the way that the second character affects the first character. Really, it's a volcano on the cover. I mean, with the amount of like built up emotion and shit in it from one of the characters, you could consider them a volcano themselves. For this person, holy shit. a random thing. I found a song. What was it? A couple of songs recently that I've been enjoying. That I've been having in my head on repeat. Which ones? The main two. Someone did an AI rendition of Boulevard of Broken Dreams as sung by Frank Sinatra, which I actually really fuck with. And then what's the other one? Alfred's Theme by Eminem. Oh my god, that one. I don't know what it is, but that one and Antichrist from Death Slim Shady. Those two are pretty good. Don't say it's We Stand Strong. No, I'll just tell you that it's Thank You for Listening. Or The Joy of Creating. It doesn't matter, David Miscavige only stands strong mentally. They ain't standing tall. Little bugger. I don't know how close I may have been to David Miscavige in downtown Clearwater that week. Even if he was anywhere in the city, I would be very proud. I'm very proud of our disrespect. Start flipping off flag. Like, if he saw any of it, which I don't think he did, I don't think he would. I don't think the security IC would be reporting anything to him like that. But if he was in the vicinity, it makes me feel even more honored to just say, fuck you. It's stuck in my head for a while. Oh, We Stand Tall. It is catchy, especially the chorus, the hey la de la part. The video though is cool with all the staff members, the Sea Org members that you see, like David Miscavige's right hand men and shit in like the front couple rows, talking about like Marty Rathbun, Mike Rinder, pretty sure Guillaume Lessev was there, a couple of other people. I think Norman Starkey might have been. I don't know if he's hiding or not anymore. I think he was only hiding from the process servers. I mean, obviously he keeps his location not very well known. I mean, he has a main location of residence in Clearwater, which were we shown that? Pretty sure we were. No. Sure, he has a residence somewhere in downtown Clearwater. He has a couple. Tom Cruise's penthouse building looked pretty empty too. It's cool that we got to see those though, like the outside. I would have loved to have walked into like Narconon or whatever. I just started really learning about like what the theory is behind the PRF, the Purification Rundown. I watched PTS for Life do a video about their drug education program, and it's so wrong in so many different parts. Like their biggest thing is that one of their things is that the reason you're taking so many vitamins is because when you do drugs and you get the high is because of a sudden and more extreme release of vitamins, nutrients, and minerals or whatever, which supposedly are what bring about the high and what leads you to feeling like shit afterwards. It's fucking dumb. Why don't they just do that in moderation? It would be a good thing, like a small resort for them to chill in for a week or two instead of the whole day in a sauna ODing on vitamins. Yeah, but then you don't get the full standard application of the tech. You don't get positive results. Gotta work your way up to large ass amounts of vitamins. It shows creativity when it comes to... Yeah, you'd think, but barley baby formula shit. Fucking... Actually, I don't even remember if... Was Robert the one that came up with that? Yeah, I know, it should have been. What was it called? When did it come out? Doesn't say. It's so dumb. The formula is the nearest to human milk that can be easily put together. It is an old Roman formula from around 2200 years ago. Yeah, well, they didn't know too much about that. The formula utilized barley. Roman troops had marched and fought battles while living on a diet of barley, the cereal with the highest protein content. Yeah, you needed barley, you needed corn syrup, and homogenized milk. But if Hubbard was smart, he should have fucking known you're not supposed to give your babies fucking corn syrup. And you're not giving the baby the barley either. You're only giving them the water mixed with the milk and the corn syrup. The water that you boiled the barley in. But I remember when I was doing KSW with Caleb, not KSW with Caleb, doing the Scientology courses online, we covered the barley baby formula. He was definitely like, how the fuck is this a thing? It's fun to watch people's reactions when you tell them about the crazy shit of the cults that the cults do, and you're just like, I know, right? It's like I don't know, just the coolest shit. Getting to see them as confused as you were on day one. And LRH could have been a bit more better with his creativity when it came to fucking OT3, rather than it looks like 1950s, 1960s America or whatever, or the world, and it's like, really, 76 planets, and they all look like that. I know I just shut the volume off for a second, so give me a minute. Sounds like a horrible existence. So many implants. So many engrams. So much resim. You're gonna get a fucking key in. You're gonna get like 20 key-ins. Talk about, I don't think of how to explain this. It depends if you want spoilers or not. That's what I tell people. I'm like, do you want to know what my story's about, or do you want to just hear the stupid trailer that doesn't really explain much of anything? Because it all happened. All that trailer is just before the twist. You have your hands on the Novus mental ability test. One missing component of TOC. I can't find it anymore. I do not have the Novus mental ability test. Either. John Belaya, you want spoilers too? Or you want regular non-spoilers? The one I gaff about? Well, hold on. Oh, give up. God, I feel like an idiot. Boy, okay. So you'll be the only two that hear this right now until someone decides to watch later. It's called Balancing Act. And it is this college dude who undergoes this minor genetic manipulation trial. It does what it needs to do. It's fine. But because of something that happened, that was part of the drug that he got, or the substance that was injected. There becomes an extra personality in his head who he is trying to now fight almost daily to just stop. So the story, it starts with him meeting this girl after he does the trial. He does the trial, recovers after like 4 days. On that like fourth day or whatever, he starts talking to this girl at his college that he sees sitting over by the pond, and he's hitting it off. He's talking. They schedule another hangout or whatever. They schedule another time to meet up. They end up eventually probably dating a little, depending on how I want to take that part of the story. I don't quite know how I want to work that yet. But they definitely start getting feelings. The main character, Jordan, later finds out that the partner, the one he's dating, her name is Vivian, she has been a complete mental hallucination the entire time. The story is not meant to mock or make fun of anybody with any type of reality warping mental disorder. But if I was to summarize the whole story in like 3 words-ish, 3 to 5 words, it would be dissociative identity disorder with shapeshifting. So it's not just a personality problem. It's not just a mental illness, because the medications for the DID don't fucking work. Yeah, I know, just a minor... Look, he wanted the money. He needed the money. I would explain how this story was going to start, but I'm not going to. But no, it was just like a minor research trial. It was for something, just like a cosmetic thing. It was just like eye color changes or whatever. That was it. It was just like temporary eye color change without any kind of contact lens. Yeah, you could consider it like tulpa stuff. Pretty much. She's completely vivid to him, completely there. No one else can see or interact with her in any way, until later. But yeah, no, he's dealing with her intruding on his life, trying to... Oh no, wait, how do I start this part? Starts going to the psychiatrist because she's causing unwanted thoughts. She's causing mainly visual hallucinations, audio hallucinations, some olfactory stuff. But yeah, a lot of mainly hallucinations, mainly regarding her. It's not like she's affecting things in the world around him, but not to the same degree. She becomes a lot more prominent in his life. He starts going to the therapist or psychiatrist. I know, God forbid psychiatry. And at first, before the dissociative episodes happen, he gets put on antipsychotic. So it's going to be likely Seroquel and possibly escitalopram as an SSRI. I don't quite know. Yeah, so he's going to get those. Those are going to seemingly work for a little bit. Like they're gonna seem like they're doing the job, because Vivian's just kind of gonna hold back for a little while. Just to give him that false sense of Scientologist with going to a psych. Yeah, I know. Not like I really give a shit. But yes, she gets the meds. She kind of retreats for a little bit, but she takes the intent on taking the medication as a personal attack on her own existence. So she goes away, and then she slowly starts coming back, like a couple of weeks later. Minor sounds and slight visual disturbances, until she's back in full force again. She ends up back at the psychiatrist's office. It now gets prescribed DID medication, because after taking the antipsychotics, is when the dissociation starts. That's when all the dissociative episodes begin. But yeah, he'll either black out, wake up in a place he's not familiar with, or kind of zone out for a second. It could be, it could vary how long he's unconscious for. But she's using the time to completely control everything. So he's kind of pulled away, and she's pushed forward. But the way she does it is by causing all-encompassing hallucinations of, like, happy, relaxing spaces, like a beach or a quiet room or whatever, just as a way to tell him, be like, hey, she's trying to essentially manipulate him. And trust me, I have a list of manipulation tactics written out, and I'm trying to figure out what ones she's more likely to perform. But yeah, no, she is using tactics of manipulation in order to get him dependent, cooperative, and overall just kind of wrapped around her finger. So yeah, she's doing that stuff, and one of those ways of developing the positive emotions is by her gaslight, gatekeep, girl boss. She ends up providing him a sort of happy place. Like could be the woods with like a river or a babbling brook or something. It could be the ocean. It could be any place that may be considered beautiful, relaxing, whatever. But the problem with these spaces, after a little while at least, she accompanies him for the first few. At a certain point, she stops showing up. She stops being there. He's trying to wonder what the hell's going on. Little does he realize she's actually using that time to now control him in the real world and do whatever the hell she decides she wants to do. So yeah, so that happens. He gets the DID medication, ends up not doing anything, and I think he ends up just dropping the medication at some point. I haven't quite worked that out yet. What next? There's gonna be a lot of... Let me see if I can So yeah, I've got them separated in time before and after he realizes that his initial relationship with her was fake. So before, you're gonna have your love bombing, your false flattery, um, thanking him for simple things, ignoring problems and trying to solve them that way and pretending everything's fine, diverting, conversation blocking, faking like excitement about having a future with him, getting him to confide in secrets. She confides in whatever she calls secrets. I don't know if they're going to be real or fake. Um, and then earlier, after the revelation, after he realizes what's going on, um, there's going to be things like, this is where it's going to kind of more resemble schizophrenia in a way, or paranoia disorder. You're going to have stalking. You're going to have some of the same stuff from before. So conversation blocking, conversation dominance. She's going to exaggerate. She's going to isolate him. She's going to wear him down mentally. She's going to compare him to other people, countering his statements. She's obviously going to lie and gaslight. She's going to project. She's going to start using the hallucinations in the world around him to fuck with him. So he's going to alter his perceptions of different conversations or media. So like he'll have a conversation with someone about a car, and then that conversation could be manipulated into something else that goes completely off track, not even part of the original conversation. But that's what he'll hear. He doesn't realize that's not what the other person is saying. One of the other things I was thinking was whenever he comes to, quote unquote, after one of his dissociative episodes, if they happen, like, I mean, pretty much anywhere, he's always going to find a little paper crane folded up somewhere. And it's going to have a little message on it that is either going to be overt or direct or indirect. Phrases such as, do I not have these written down? I guess I don't. But yeah, just little things about like maybe what she did in the environment while he was in his quote unquote happy place. Like maybe he organized his clothes or something, or she signed him up for some kind of activity for like maybe a cooking class or some shit. Just taking time to push his boundaries a little, get him out, and just doing different things and just seeing how he reacts and seeing what works, what doesn't. Where do I go? Steps to coercive control. This is literally how I set this up. Subtle reinforcement and validation, which is done pre-revelation. Mild suggestion and guidance, done pre-revelation. Could lead to some subtle clues about the truth of what existence is and stuff like that. So like if they're having a philosophical discussion, she could talk about death perceptions and reality as sort of like a foreshadowing as to what may happen later. We're going to talk about life choices, decisions, and all that stuff. She's going to start exploiting his vulnerabilities and insecurities after the revelation. She's going to start drawing attention to them and using this info for rewards and punishments. That's another big one, is reward and punishments. That's so I've got, for rewards, I've got emotional, which include praise, affection, validation, including positive or negative emotional states. I got psychological, which is all about manipulating his headspace. Maybe, for example, as a reward would be private time without her, so time where she's just quiet and doesn't interfere with his life. Or maybe if he's feeling negatively, he will want that sort of company to mentally help him calm down. And so it all depends on how he is in the moment. For punishments, I got withdrawal of emotional support, so private time with or without her. So if she leaves and he doesn't want her to go, it's going to hurt more. World is Skinner box, endless loop of paper cranes and manipulated false. I've heard Skinner box before. What the hell is Skinner? contains a bar or key that a subject manipulates in order to obtain reinforcement. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. So there's gonna be takeovers. Yeah, Pavlovian conditioning. That's kind of gonna happen too. She's gonna play into his fears and his, like I said, fears, insecurities, and vulnerabilities. We got the gaslighting, reality shaping, and induced hallucination section, and I have many different senses for this. So there's denial. There's rewriting history. This is all done post-revelation. This includes intruding thoughts, images, and desires. Nightmares, such as, say, his parents don't know what's going on yet because he's in college and he doesn't really talk to them that much and he doesn't want to about this. She may cause him to have dreams that his parents are fighting and arguing about what to do with him because of his condition. It'll likely show Vivian more as a savior type of figure in order to keep that conflict going. As for hallucinations, he's going to have kinesthetic, which is going to be altered gravitational perceptions. I used the subject effect index in order to get some of these, which was kind of cool. And by the way, thanks Josie for that. Proprioceptive. Words from a book show him the way to break free of the shadows of yesterday. That's a reference to something. What is it a reference to? You're referring to The Shadows of Yesterday by Sandra Brown? Is this a book series? Or is this a song? I don't know what you're referencing. But anyway, back to the hallucinations. For the story. So there's going to be proprioceptive, which will be distorted body positioning sense. So he may think he has his arm on the chair, or on the chair arm, and it might actually just be resting on a desk or something. It's gonna just distort his sense of orientation and stuff like that. We got thermoceptive, so changing how he interprets hot and cold. Localized temperature changes. We could do chronoceptive, which is an altered time perception. Interoceptive, which includes internal sensations, so hunger, thirst, heart racing, breathing perceptions. I feel like I'm talking about everything on Superpower Rundown right now. We got multisensory, which is synesthetic experiences, so that's the visual, the headspace, and all that stuff mixed together. You got complex scenarios, which is just vague. You got noetic, which is false memories. Tactile, which is touch. So there's going to be touch suppression, touch enhancement. So he may touch the desk and not really feel much of anything at all, or he could touch the desk and feel every groove in it. Got distortion in that. Gustatory, so food, hunger. They could be enhancement or suppression on either of those. A lot of those symptoms are probably going to be caused by the medication more. When it comes to visual, he's going to see her, obviously. She can manipulate his food and drinks. She's going to either enhance or suppress different colors. She may cause different external hallucinations other than herself for brief periods of time. And just in general, peripheral information misinterpretation. There's auditory, so you got suppression and misinterpretation, so things will start sounding quieter, louder, whatever. You got olfactory, so smell, stuff like that. And then the categories after, we got projection and blame. These are different tactics. We got the emotional roller coaster, which includes negative and positive emotional states. And the false promises and future faking, or promising that she'll be gone in the future. Because I was also thinking of another part to the story where, say they have an argument, really fucking bad one, like a severe one. She leaves, quote unquote, only to be just receded, like she was when he first took the antipsychotics. But yeah, if she leaves without him wanting her to. Or even if she did leave after he said he didn't want her to be there, I think he's going to realize how dependent he's become, and it's going to cause him to start going through grief. So this student is going to be getting a lot of shit hurled at him. There's a whole other parts of the story I never even mentioned that I'm kind of working on right now, and I'm not gonna say it because it might be cringy to some, but we'll see. Pick up, pick up.